Hey, what up? Sam here, and in today's video what I'm going to show you is a step-by-step guide how you can approach any single person, anytime, any place, feeling confident, feeling yourself, expressing yourself in the right way, and inevitably get every single person you approach to like you. So whether it's a guy you're approaching a girl, whether it's a girl's approaching a guy, whether it's whatever, it might be a business relationship you want to start, it might be just be a friendship, it might be a guy sitting down and you just want to chat the shit and have a new friend that talks about sports or something like that. These 8 principles apply to any single person, no matter what their gender is. 8 things are: number 1, I always do this when I shoot videos. Breathing. Breathe. Taking 3 deep breaths before you do this. Because number 1, I've had this problem a lot where I have taken a deep breath, exhaled all the energy, exhaled all the breath, and then I start the conversation from here. I'm like, hi. It doesn't work. I've got no energy. I've got nothing behind it. So breathing before you do everything. I make sure I do it before every video, and I make sure I do it before any interaction. And literally relaxing everything, because not only will the oxygen get to your brain, you'll be able to think better, but number 1, everything relaxes. You seem more confident. The chest comes out. You actually let go of the nervousness. So breathing is the first tip before anything. This is before you've even approached any single person. Number 2 is having self-awareness. You have to be aware that whenever you're interacting with a stranger, they are going to feel uncomfortable. The situation is going to feel uncomfortable a little bit. There's going to be a bit of awkwardness in there. But it's like if someone approached you, how would you feel? You would be a little bit like, oh, why is this person talking to me? Why are they approaching me? I don't understand. And you've got to kind of understand that a person is going to be like that from the minute you say hello. You've got to understand that's about having self-awareness. That's about knowing what they are thinking. So we can all be in our head like, oh, how do I look? How do I feel? Okay, what do I say? But just understanding that the person's going to think, oh, like, why is this person approaching me? So if I was to do anything, if I was to go into an approach, if I was to talk to any sort of person, it might be a guy sitting down in a coffee shop. I always come in with it, hey, sorry to bother you. Always come with a kind of a sympathetic, I understand that this is awkward, or I'm sorry to bother you, I know this is awkward, or I know this is a bit weird. And it makes them understand that you know that what you're doing is outside of the social norm. Not a lot of people do this. Not a lot of people, talk to strangers or go up about their day, see someone and then go approach them. So you got to understand that they are going to feel awkward straight away and they're not going to know what's going on. So you have to kind of make them realize that you know that this is an awkward thing to do, but you have an intention behind it. You've got to cultivate this self-awareness of what another person is thinking, because if you don't and you don't address that, they're going to walk away. They're going to feel uncomfortable. They're going to tell you to get lost. And that's going to kill any interaction. Of course, there's ways to come back from that. You can say, oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to make you feel awkward or make you feel uncomfortable. But you don't want that to already come up. You want to cultivate that self-awareness and be able to understand that this person might not want to talk to anyone, might not want to, literally, she's had a bad day, he's had a bad day, someone might have died, someone might have, terrible things might have happened. They might just be having a bad day. They might be going to work. Maybe they've got a partner. Maybe they've got a lot of friends and they don't really want to make another friend. Or maybe they've got, they're going through a lot of stuff with their best friend, or maybe they've got a lot of stuff with their boyfriend or their girlfriend. You don't know what's going on. But being self-aware enough to say, hey, I know that this is uncomfortable, this can be a little bit awkward, but I just want to say hello and introduce myself and see if there is something there, see if there's a friendship there, see if there's a vibe to possibly date you in the future. So that's number 2. Number 3 is assuming the burden of the conversation. Now, this is a real interesting one because not a lot of people know this about when you start an interaction with someone. A lot of people just think it's going to be 50-50 straight away. Oh, yep. Hello, how's it going? Yep. And then you're expecting the person to invest in you. You're expecting the person to be as invested in you, like a stranger that just approached them for 2 seconds, as you are with them. You've got to understand that the conversation is going to be 90% you, 10% them. Assuming the burden of the conversation is what makes this kind of approach very, very successful, because you're not relying on them. You're not saying, please give me some value for doing what I did. It's courageous. I might not know you. I want to make a new friend, or, I want to date you possibly in the future. And please give me some value. Please give me some validation. It's coming with this underlying Give, please give me this, please give me that. But when you assume the burden of the conversation, you're actually giving value. You're saying, I understand this is awkward, so self-awareness. But secondly, I'm going to show my personality. I'm going to show what my intention is by approaching you. As well as that, you want to embrace the awkwardness too. So it kind of ties in with number one. Embracing the awkwardness means that it's awkward. Embrace it, sit in it. That is the period where you have this anxiety before an interaction. That is the period where you've got to embrace that. Now, a lot of the time the human body has a difficulty comprehending the difference between nerves and excitement. And this could be, I could say that, and this could be my understanding because I've interpreted it so much where nervousness and excitement, I just automatically in my head go, that's excitement, I'm excited, right? And because a lot of the time we put these irrational kind of fears of like, maybe they won't like me, maybe I want this, who's that like? We're so fearful as a kind of a species, we're very fearful of everything. So we automatically think that, it's awkward, I don't like it, I don't like this, oh my God, I'm nervous, I don't like this, I don't like this. But really, when you're meeting someone new, it's an exciting part. Everyone in your whole life began as a stranger. Even your parents began as a stranger. You might not have realized because you were very young, but every single person in your life became from a stranger to a friend, from a stranger to a relationship, from a stranger to a parent, from any sort. They came from a stranger. So embracing the awkwardness and the anxiety and thinking, okay, well, I'm conditioned to think it is nerves, but what I'm going to decide is that I'm excited and I'm looking forward to meeting a new person. So the fifth one is that there's a social hook point between any interaction. But this is between any business interaction. This is between any interaction between two people of opposite sex, the same sex. This is between two friends. When you approach someone completely new, there's going to be a point where they ask you a question. Now, when they ask you a question, that is called the social hook point, and they are investing. So you can now dial it from 90% you, 10% them, to more of a 50-50 conversation. And really, I like to put it 60% you, 40% them, because you always want to be, pushing the interaction. You always want to be having fun. You always want to be the leader of the interaction because, hey, you were the person that approached this person. When they do ask a question, it could be subtle. You could miss it completely. But when they start asking questions, you know that they're investing a little bit more in the interaction. So they're kind of liking it. They're kind of, more comfortable. And that's with the social awareness. You've got to understand, are you making them feel uncomfortable? Are you making them feel comfortable? But when they are asking questions, you know that you are making them comfortable. So it's a very practical thing. If they're not saying questions to you, if they're not asking any questions, they feel pretty uncomfortable. They don't want to really talk to you. Now, if they're asking you questions, as well as you're asking them questions or statements or anything like that, you know that they are comfortable. So that's one key thing, that when you approach someone and they're not asking you questions back, they don't really want to talk to you that much. Now, I could say that, but it doesn't mean that they have to ask a question within the first 10 seconds. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying, if you've been talking for 20, 30 minutes and they're not really, they're not giving you back as much energy as you're giving them back, then you understand that they probably are not interested in making friends with you, trying to potentially date you or anything like that. So, it's time to probably leave. The sixth one is about fun and laughter. Now, I say this in a lot of other videos that I talk about, but fun and laughter is essentially the best way to connect with someone. If you can connect through humor, that connection is like gold. That is 10 times more powerful than anything else. You could have gone to the same school or the same, area and stuff like that. But if you laugh and have fun, it could have been, say if you went to the same school and you both hated the same teacher, or you both loved the same teacher and you made jokes about her and it was all fun. You're connecting on a deeper level than just connecting through the same school. You're connecting on this humorous, this joyous, this happy, this bundle of positive emotions. So I feel like humor is the second biggest positive emotion we have. It's amazing when we can connect with someone that we actually vibe with, when we have a great conversation, we're both laughing, we're both having fun, and it is a clear sign when someone is comfortable and wants to continue the conversation when they're laughing and they're having fun. So one of the things that I make sure any interaction that I have is laughter and humor. So if you're having an interaction where it is kind of dull and you're not laughing and you're not getting along, you know that there's a little bit of friction. That person might not want to talk to you. You might not vibe with them, and it's okay to leave that interaction. It's okay if you don't vibe with that person. But you'll find that the more successful conversations you have with people are when you incorporate fun, laughter, and humor. So number 7 is a mindset that I come with any interaction that I go to. And it is, I have an intent to get to know this person. I have an understanding that I want to get to know them. And I want to see if we vibe, if we connect, if we have this great connection. But I'm free from any outcome that's associated with it. I have this clearness and presentness in my head to understand that that will be natural. If I connect with someone, if I vibe with someone, it will be a natural process. It won't be this thing that I could orchestrate and make sure, like, make it. I want to make sure this, like, I want to connect with this person. I want to, I need to. And I don't come from that mind frame. I have this free, abundant mind frame that whoever is supposed to be in my life will be in my life. And when I approach them and it's not going so well, I will leave it because I know I'm in abundance. And I'm, this is not the only person in the world that I will, have to get to know. I'm not in that scarcity mindset. I'm in this mindset of there is millions of people in the world, and this person is just someone that I do or do not get along with. It doesn't matter. It might be the time period. I've had times in my life where I've approached someone and, I've got introduced from a friend recently at a nightclub, and we just didn't hit it off. We didn't connect. She didn't like me, and I was like, that's fine. She's allowed to not like me. Takes 3 weeks later, I see her in the elevator and we hit it off like a house on fire. We literally have the greatest conversation ever you can in an elevator. When you have this intent, but you are free from the outcome, you are free from any sort of wanting or needing the person to like you, they generally like you because you don't have an underlying frame of please like me, please, I need all this validation, please, 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 please. You come from this, I'm going to express myself, and if you like it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. So double downing on the mindset of intent but freedom from outcome. I have an intent when I go into any interaction, and it might not be I need this or I need that. I'm not saying that, but I know that I want to get to know that person, and possibly I have a plan to know if I want to take the relationship further. So usually it might be exchanging contact details, it might be inviting them to a party, it might be having, but I generally have a thing that I want to meet up with them again. So in a business dealing, it might be you want to take them for a coffee and you show what you're working on, they show what they're working on, and you might be able to collaborate somehow. If it's a girl or a guy that you like, depending on what you like, you take her on a date and you see what happens and see if you vibe to the point that you want to start dating, you want to sleep together, you want to do anything of the sort. And by having that kind of goal in mind, it allows you to then have an intent. But the goal is not everything. The goal isn't the most unimportant thing. Again, it is an intent to get to, but you're free from this outcome. You're letting go. You're not trying to orchestrate the environment. You're not trying to make sure everything's perfect. You are free. You have this free mentality of nothing's really going to stress you, because if you need that outcome, you are going to be completely stressed. You're going to be so stressed out that you're not going to know what to do. So when you allow yourself to be present, to relax, to breathe again. Number 8 is drawing state from within. So a lot of the time that I was with RSD and I would do free tours, the crowd might not give me anything. Or, again, on Zoom calls and you're not with anyone, you might not get anything from the person. Or again, from the camera, I'm not getting anything from the camera, but I know, again, in the subconscious of my mind, that this is going out to millions of people. So I know that I will eventually be pinging off you. But when I have nothing in it, again, I'm drawing all this energy, I'm drawing all the emotions from within. I'm drawing my state from within. When you're conversing with someone, you have to also do that, which is drawing the state from within. So you have an understanding that my emotions are controlled by me. I control my emotions. So if I want to feel happy, again, what I do is I emulate being happy. So I put on a big smile, I take a deep breath, I relax, and I try to imagine a time when I was happy and what I was acting like. And I can think of one memory, especially. I have one memory that whenever I think of happy, I can't help but not smile, because that memory invokes that emotion for me. I know that I have an abundance of energy and I have an abundance of positive emotion, and I let that out. I let it out. I'm in a collaborative frame. I'm not trying to compete with anything. I'm collaborating. The more I express myself, the more people will like that I'm expressing myself. It's the last one. It's called the law of state transference. What I feel, they're going to feel. So have you ever walked into a room and you can tell when someone's upset? Maybe it's the body language, maybe it's the tonality, but they might not have said anything, and you can say, oh, they're upset, what's wrong? Or when someone's really angry, you can tell when they're angry. Or when someone's real happy, you can tell, you just have this vibe, this kind of energetic ether that you can tell that they're a certain emotion. And we can use that to our advantage because we know that humans do a thing called mirroring. So they mirror a lot of the time what we do. And when someone likes you, and this is more in the interaction, they will start to mirror you. And one of the greatest things is whatever emotion that you want to feel. If you feel nervousness, they will feel nervousness. If you feel happy, they will feel happy. And that's because we are so energetically aware. And you could say this is woo-woo and everything like that, but I want you to try it. I want you to be extremely happy in your next interaction, or extremely sad, or any sort of extreme emotion, to try it out. Give it a test run and see if the other person starts to act like you do, like that mirroring technique, or starts to feel, or starts to say, what's wrong? There's something up. And as a human being, we can energetically feel these kind of things. So what you want to understand is that, again, what I feel, they are going to feel. So again, drawing that positive state from within is a great thing, because then you can project it onto that person and they can have the same emotion you are feeling. You might say, Sam, that's all fantastic. I love those mindsets, but I get so nervous and I can't approach someone. So I'm going to give you 4 things that you can concentrate on for any interaction. Number 1, take a deep breath. Take 3 deep breaths. Before I want to do anything scary or anything that makes me nervous, which again, I internalize to excitement, anything that makes me excited and that butterfly feeling, I count down. I go 3, 2, 1, boom, and I go do it. And I've practiced that a lot of the times where you turn on a cold shower and you're about to go in there and you're stammering and you're back and forth. You have one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake, and you're going, and you're like that. And what you got to do is, again, take a deep breath. 3, 2, 1, boom, go in. Now it almost sets you for this, okay, I'm going to give myself 3 seconds to get all this energy out. Oh my God, it's all bound up. Doom, go in. Number 3 is understanding that if they don't like you, that is okay. They're allowed to not like you. And the final one I stress heavily is to be socially aware. So understanding how someone feels. So a great indicator is a smile, soft eyes, wanting to be there, present, open body language, so they're actually listening to you. They're not turning away, yeah. They're actually listening, and a little bit of engagement. So they're the positive signs. Now, if someone's not interested in, they'll be turning away, they won't respond, they might not even respond at all, they might walk away, they might not want to talk to you. And again, going back to the 3rd principle, that's fine. When you're in the interaction, the more socially aware you can be, the more likelihood of it going well. So, it's Sam here. I'll see you soon.